Okay, so in this video I'm going to look at two more graphs. I'm going to look at drawing the graph of f of x here, which is 2x, and g of x here, which is x squared plus 3x. And I'm going to draw them in the domain -4 to 1. X values will be between and including -4 and 1. Now f of x here is a linear graph, and g of x here is going to be a quadratic graph. So for my x values for my f of x, I've picked -4, -1 and 1. So let's do that first of all. Okay, so I'm going to put in -4 first. So I've got to double it, so -4, that gives me -8. So my first point is -4 -8. Second point, second x value rather, is -1, so it's 2 times -1, that gives me -2, so I get -1 -2. Third one is twice 1, so 2 ones 2, so that will give me a point of 1, 2. So let's plot these 3 points. The first one then is -4 -8, -4 -8. So I've drawn the axis here. Again, I've done it freehand. Obviously, when you're doing it, use graph paper, use a ruler. Do it accurately, do it neatly, okay? So my first point is -4 -8. So let's do that first. -4 -8. Well, -4 on the x-axis, -8 on the y-axis will give me a point down here. Second point is -1 -2. So -1 -2 is -1 -2 is here. And the third point is 1 2. So 1 2 will be out here, up here, so that's 1 2 there. So if I join those three, let's see, start here, I'm going to go down here. Okay, we just about got there, somewhere here. Okay, so again, use a ruler. Obviously, this is not, I'm doing this freehand, so it's a little bit shaky, but you get the idea anyway. Okay, so let's do the quadratic one now, okay? So the quadratic one is this one here. This is my g of x. So g of x is x squared plus 3x. So let's do that. G of x then. Okay, so we're going to put in -4 first of all. -4. So it's going to be -4, and we're going to square it first of all, and then plus 3 times -4. So let's see what we get. -4 squared for 4, 16. 16 plus 3 times -4 is -12. So we have a 16 minus 12. That gives me 4. So my first point is going to be -4 plus 4. Now we've got to put in -3. So it's -3, and we're going to square that, plus 3 times -3. So 3 squared is 9. -3 squared is 9. 3 times -3 is -9. So 9 minus 9 is just 0. So my second point is -3, 0. Third point then is our third x value is -2. So let's do that. So it's going to be -2. We're going to square that and then multiply it by 3. So we have -2 squared is 4. 4 minus 2 times plus 3 is -6. So we've got 4 minus 6, which is -2. So my third point is going to be -2 minus 2. Okay, so the next one then is -1. So we put -1 in, we square it, and then we're going to multiply it by 3. So -1 squared is 1. 1 minus 3 is -2. So my next point then is -1 minus 2. Next one is the easy one. I'm putting in 0. So it's going to be 0 squared plus 3 times 0. So that's just going to be 0. So my next point is going to be 0, 0. This one then 1, the last one then I'm going to put 1 in, I'm going to square it, and then I'm going to multiply it by 3. So 1 squared is 1. 1 plus 3, 4. So this is going to be 1, 4. So now I have all my points from my quadratic curve. So let's have a look at that. First point is minus 4, 4. So let's plot that one. Minus 4, 4. I'll do this in a different color. Minus 4, 4. Minus 4, 4 is going to be somewhere here. Next point is going to be minus 3, 0. Minus 3, 0. Minus 3 and then 0 on the y-axis, so it's just going to be here. Next one then is minus 2, minus 2. Let's see, minus 2, minus 2. Minus 2, minus 2. There it is there. Next one then is minus 1, minus 2. Minus 1, minus 2. Minus 1, minus 2. That's going to be here, top of the other point. And then we have, that was minus 1, minus 2. The next one is 0, 0. So let's do that one. 0, 0 is going to be here. And then we've got 1, 4. So 1, 4 is going to be go out 1, go up 4. And that's it. They're all our points. So let's just join those up and see what we end up with. So I'll start here. Again, it's going to be a little bit shaky, but let's see how we get on. I'll start here, go down to this one, go down to the next one, and then I'm going to go around, down and up. Again, don't go down to a point, go up to the next one and up to the next one. Okay, so there we have our curve. Now, so we have our straight line and we have our curve. Let's see what we can do with that. Now, let's see, the questions that you can be asked here, they can vary, but let's see. First question that we could be asked is find the value of, you have to use the graph now. Use the graph to find the value of, let's say, f minus 2. Okay, so we're going to use the graph to find the value of f minus 2. So remember that f is my linear graph, the straight line. So we want to use the graph to find f minus 2. So we know that our x is going to be minus 2. So x is going to be minus 2. So what we're going to do here is go at the x-axis to minus 2. We're going to go down till we hit our graph, or our line, our f line. This is our function f here, remember. This is our function g. We're only dealing with f at the moment. So we know that our x is minus 2, so we went out the x-axis minus 2, and then we're going to go across here, and we end up at minus 4.5, minus 4.5, using my graph. Now that's using the graph to actually calculate. What would you get if you put minus 2 into the function? Well, according to my graph here, I would get minus 4.5. Now that's not really that accurate, because and I haven't drawn this graph very accurately. In fact, you know, the function is actually f of x is equal to 2x. Now if I put in minus 2 into that, I get 2 times minus 2, which gives me minus 4. So I'm off a little bit here. Because I haven't drawn this graph very accurately, I should have ended up here, but I've ended up a little bit below it. So when you draw this graph accurately, you should get a much more accurate answer. Okay, so let's have a look at another one. What about g minus 2? Let's see what happens if we do g minus 2. So g minus 2. What would we get if we used if we use the graph to find g minus 2? Well, our x has turned into a minus 2, so let's do the same thing again here. We go down. I'll use the green again, I think. We'll go down here until we hit the graph. This time this is our g, our function g here, so, and then go across. What value do I get? Well, I get minus 2 here. Minus 2. So let's see, would that work? Well, my function g is g of x is x squared plus 3x, x squared plus 3x. Now if I put minus 2 into that, minus 2, and I'm going to square it, plus 3 times minus 2, I'll get 2 2's are 4, minus 2, and then here you get minus 6. So 4 minus 6, 4 minus 6 will give me minus 2. So I did actually get minus 2. Minus 2 is the accurate answer because I've done it algebraically. When I used the graph, I also got minus 2. So that wasn't too bad. I did hit it exactly here. Okay, so that's another question you could be asked. Okay, so let's look at another question you could be asked. Find a value of x. We're going to find a value of x for which fx is equal to 0. F of x is equal to 0. Find a value, value of x. Find a value of x for which fx is equal to 0. Find a value of x for which f of x is equal to 0. Now this is my function f. This is f here. This is g here. So I'm only going to look at the straight line here, the function f. So we want f of x to be 0, or in other words, y equals 0. We want y to be 0. Well, here's our y-axis here. Where on the y-axis is 0? Well, it's here. And what value of x will give me a y value of 0? Well, on my line here, it actually goes through the point 0, 0. So the x value will be equal to 0. When f of x is 0, or when y is 0, x is 0 on my straight line here. Okay, so let's look at another one. Let's say find a value of x for which gx is equal to 3. Okay, so we want to find a value of x for which g of x is equal to 3. Okay, so g of x, now we're looking at the purple graph here. This is our g function here, and we want g of x to be 3, or y to be equal to 3 on this particular graph. So what points? You remember this graph here is made up of an infinite number of points, and we want to find the points. We want to find the values of x where y will be 3. So here's our y-axis. Here's where y is 3. So let's just go over to our graph and look at that point. And we're also going to go over to this side here, because that point there will also have a y value of 3. So this point here will have a y value of 3, and we've got to find out what this x value is. This point here on our purple graph, or on our function g graph, will have a y value of 3, but what's its x value? That's what we were being asked. What is the x value here and here? Well, all we've got to do is go down along here, okay? Now again, this is not accurate because I haven't really drawn it accurately. Again, I'm going to go down along here, and I get 2 points here, 2 values of x. Here I've got an x value just under 1, So I'm going to say x is, I don't know, let's say 0.8. And here I've got, let's say minus 3.5, also minus 3.5. Now I'm pretty sure if you put, if you did it algebraically, you're not going to get those values exactly because my graph isn't very accurate. But you get the idea anyway. You go along here, you want to find the values of x where gx, or where y is equal to 3. Y is 3 here. So that point on my graph has a y value of 3. This point on my graph has a y value of 3. What x values give that y value of 3? So you just go down, find out what that x value is, go down, find out what that x value is. And that gives you the answer there. Okay, so that's it really at this stage. I mean, another question you could be asked, just to finish it off, is where is f of x equal to g of x? Find the values of x. Find the values of x where f of x is equal to g of x. So really what you've got to do here is find where the graph has actually, the two graphs meet. Now I haven't really drawn it too well here, but if I had have drawn this properly, this graph would probably come down around here like that. Now the straight line graph then would cut the curved graph here, let's say, and here. These are the 2 points where the straight line graph, so my graph comes down like this, and then I've got a straight line graph as well, and what I'm doing is looking at the points, the 2 points where the two graphs cross. So I'm looking at this point here and this point here. And the question is, what are the x values where fx is equal to gx? Well, in this case, x will be just equal to, it looks like minus 1. And also it seems to cut here, so you're looking at an x value of 0. So where x is minus 1 and where x is 0, the two graphs intersect. Fx is equal to gx. Okay, so I think we'll leave it at that for the moment for this one, and okay, that's it on intersecting graphs, drawing a linear and a quadratic graph on the same axis and answering various questions around it.